Hello, livestock friends, and welcome to this edition of Before the Bid. This is a podcast dedicated to the livestock sales industry where we go behind the scenes of the operation and speak straight to the sellers. We discuss topics about the important aspects of their operation, location, the people behind the prep work, and talk about some of the animals that will be offered to you, the prospective buyers. Hopefully, you've got your sale catalog close by. You might have to go look through that pile on your desk. But if not, then you're probably like me and driving down the road or busy with chores around the farm. And that's okay too. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy this segment of Before the Bid. I'm your host, Andy Howell. Welcome, livestock friends, to this edition of Before the Bid podcast. And on this podcast, we are in southern Indiana, and we're going to be talking about an Angus sale here that is held every year in southern Indiana. And I don't know, it's 20 plus years or so of having this sale, and a sale that is near to my heart as we have been involved with this sale and involved with this association for quite a few years, and so important sale to us. And we're going to talk about the association. We're going to talk about some of the things that they do. We're going to talk about the sale that they do have coming up here, and that sale is going to be on April 2nd. It's going to be at 1 o'clock, and it's going to be at Little York, Indiana, which is west of Scottsburg, and Scottsburg is north of Louisville there on Interstate 65, so pretty easy to get to from the interstate there. And so I have on the phone with me a good friend of mine, Duane Stevens, and Duane, he and I have worked together for a long time, and I think clear back in high school or something, we got together and worked somewhere. Duane and I remain friends, and we work on this sale together a little bit. And Duane is managing this sale here with his operation there at Gold Buckle Cattle Services. And so, Duane, appreciate you joining me here for this podcast.
Hey, it's great to be here, Andy. I just want to clarify, you were in high school. I was
Right.
I was not.
Right.
I was not.
You have a few more years on me.
Just a couple. That was back when we were eating cheeseburgers at Papa's in Freeman, South Dakota.
I do remember those days. Those are the good days.
They were fun days. They absolutely were fun days. That's right.
Those were the good times. So, Duane, you and that very important lady that helps you along, you guys have a cattle services here and a management services in West Salem, Illinois. And so, if you would, why don't you guys tell us about Gold Buckle Cattle Services?
Oh, yeah. If you want to talk about us, we can do that all night long. I was trying to get Julie to do this part of the podcast, but she scattered out.
She did pretty quick, didn't she?
From the sales side of what we do, we have a couple different facets of that. Of course, one is, much like this sale, we're the sale management for this one. So we do a handful of those a year, not very many of them. But I still do a pretty good sized chunk of sales in terms of being the auctioneer in purebred livestock, not only in cattle, some hogs and sheep, primarily in cattle though, several different breeds. And then, one of the other things that we do, and it's been pretty good for us and good for the people that we've gotten to know over the years, is we get to buy and sell cattle that fit needs of other producers. We've been able to find things that, say another producer is really looking for, no matter what that parameter is, whether it's based off of performance, whether it's based off of a phenotype, whether it's got to be a show ring, or whether it needs to be a set of replacement females, potload or replacement heifers, that kind of thing. We've been pretty fortunate being able to have the contacts to find those cattle for those people over the last several years. So we've tried to focus on that and do a good job of marketing cattle, both for our customers and for the people we're selling for and the people we're buying for as well, Andy.
Right. Yeah, and consultants, we've worked together on a few things with consulting, and so you do that and seen you at a couple sales doing those kind of things, and you've got buyers that come, and you go to the sale, you talk to them about what's in that sale and work things out with that.
Yeah, and just much like the Southern Indiana sale, when we were talking here just a little bit previous this evening, you and I about doing this podcast, I had a couple of phone calls of folks that just taking a look through that catalog that, people that trust us and trust what we have to say about the cattle, that, we can analyze them, looking at them phenotypically, and And, that's been relationships that we've built over years and years. It's been really good to us. I mean, we tend to do pretty well at that. And I think that really goes back to I just analyze these cattle for exactly what they are. I never lie about them. I mean, if you call me and you want my honest opinion, you better be prepared for it.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Right, and I can attest to that. I've been there. We've talked about a few at different sales and things. So I really enjoy working with that lady that helps you out. So why don't you tell us just a little about Julie and what she does as far as running the program?
Oh, sure. So, I really wish she would have handled this part of the podcast. I got to be real honest, Andy. She kind of makes the operation work, and we haven't got to this part. I mean, we still have an Angus, Simmental, and Hereford operation that functions here on a daily basis, and she's the one that makes it go. I got to be real honest. Back when we first got married, I spent the majority of every year on the road, whether I was on my knees holding a set of clippers, or even now I'm gone quite a bit judging shows, whether it's a little show or a national show. Mm-hmm. She's the one here pretty much making it work. And I tell you what, I can guarantee you this, and all my friends know this, she can calve a cow better than anybody I've ever known. She can get a calf that would not nurse, and she will do it without a tube. She's on top of it. She can make one eat hay. She also knows exactly when to shut the fans off in the evening, too, because she knows exactly how much electricity those things are eating up in the daytime. But, she makes this thing work. I'm not going to lie to you.
Right.
And along with her, man, I can't just leave it there. I mean, my oldest daughter, Allison, 22 now, and she's still a kid to me, but getting ready to finish up her master's degree at University of Illinois.
Right.
She's been a big part of this program from day one, and my youngest one, Lainey, now right down there trying to finish up her freshman year at Oklahoma State. Hell, she's run the show barn here for the last 4 or 5 years since the last guy we had here had to take a little leave and take off to Texas. We made the decision that she would run it by herself instead of us bringing somebody else back in to do it. So with the three of them, I don't really know why they need me here. I guess I have to come over to Southern Indiana and hang out with y'all. I guess I'm still the one that arms all the cows, so that's the only reason they keep me around for the most part.
Yeah, and the finance is important as well.
Well, yeah.
That may be why they let you run around so much.
It might be.
Right. Like you said, you guys have cattle as well. You've got Angus, you've got Hereford, you've got Simmental cattle as well that you guys show and market for yourselves as well around the country.
Yeah, that's right. We've had we've been very blessed. I'm not gonna lie to you. From the show ring side, we've hung up a bunch of national champion banners. We've done very well in that. We've done it more than one breed. I tell you one, and probably nobody really cares about this, but I think we're probably the only ones that have ever had grand and reserve cow-calf pairs at a Simmental Regionals ever. And I say we're probably the only ones because we're probably the only ones that were dumb enough to drag 2 cow-calf pairs to one Simmental Regionals at one time.
Right.
But then the same year, we were dragging a Hereford cow-calf pair too. So we had 3 cow-calf pairs in the show barn at one time. That not only was dumb, but it cost us a fortune to go along with it. I just like to throw that out there. But no, honestly, Andy, we've been extremely blessed, especially here in the last couple of years. COVID hit there in 20. We didn't know what we were going to do. We jumped out and went down into Texas and went jackpotting. Mm-hmm. We didn't think anything was going to happen up here in the Midwest, and we jumped down there with some of our customers and run around a handful of jackpot shows, and Lainey got the opportunity to pick up a mess of buckles down there. Something completely different. No more felt banners, and got to really kind of get right down to earth with some of the people we've been sending bulls to down there in Northeast Texas, and got to visit with some of those people. And that was probably one of the best things that come out of that. Mm-hmm. All that show and stuff's great, and like I said, we've been extremely blessed with that. But anytime we can get out and get to see our customers and get to visit with them, whether we're succeeding in the show ring or not, that is extremely, extremely important to us. Just get that social interaction with those folks and just the fellowship with them and it's been really, really good to us as well. So yeah.
Right. Get down there and do all of that. That's got to be great for you guys and for them as well, and help you help them.
Sure.
Well, Southern Indiana Angus association that you've been involved with now 15 years anyway?
I'd say at least, yeah. Well, you got my break into that. Needed ringman, so I come over and started doing a little ringman work there under Marty Couch when he was selling it.
Right.
Like you were managing the sale.
Yeah.
Right. And then Marty had a conflict one year and kind of moved on up into the auction block, started selling it. Got the opportunity there. You need a little break on management.
Right.
And so we've been managing here for, is it 6 or 7 years?
Probably,
I believe, something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, just kind of moved up through the ranks, so to speak. And you're the one that got me there, Andy, I guess.
I guess I better take credit for that. And again, that goes back. We've worked together how many years? And just knowing that. And it's business is about who you know and who you can work with and who you can trust and that sort of thing. Right?
It's got to be who you trust. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so one of those contacts a long time ago, I don't know, it was probably even before Freeman, South Dakota, but that was probably one of the big ones. But you make those contacts. And
now you just got me hungry for cheese balls and cheeseburgers from Papa's.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah, buddy. I'm ready. But yeah, the Southern Indiana Association, and you come over to some of the meetings, and I don't know, what is it, a 2-hour drive for you to come over to some of those things? But you do a good job of trying to get over to the meetings as much as you can to be a part of the association as well as managing the sales and things like that. And so the Southern Association, a very active association, and an association that tries to do quite a few things. And one of the things that they do in the summer, they have a Southern Indiana Angus show, and it actually goes into the Jim Singleton Show Heifer of the Year awards points. And Duane, you've been over to this show. You've judged the show, and I believe you guys even brought a heifer a time or two, haven't you?
Well, I'm trying to remember. I don't think we've ever actually come over. We threatened to a time or two back several years ago to show in it. I have judged that one twice. I do remember judging it. And actually, just this past year, summer of 21, I did judge it, and I really didn't intend to. I didn't realize that's what I was getting myself into when they called me there for, what is that, Jackson, Jennings County, whichever county that is.
Brownstown.
Yeah. I didn't feel like I probably ought to be judging that one, but also managing their sale, but I did. And I tell you what, it was a great set of cattle. You're exactly right when you're talking about that association of what they do. I can't rave enough about the structure of it and having the meetings that they have on a monthly basis and putting together a good program and getting a good speaker, somebody to talk about the industry, whether it's nutrition, whether it's in February, they always have the stud services or different ones come and talk about the bulls that they're trying to promote and the bulls that they feel like will work. They're ahead of the spring breeding program. I was at one here, I believe it was a January meeting, and just focused on the mineral program and getting serious about it too, not just saying, hey, you've got to have a mineral program. Had somebody from the industry that was really focused on what exactly from a mineral standpoint will actually help you from a reproductive standpoint in keeping your cows going. This association has been very, very good about just trying to help everybody that's involved in it, from point A to point B. And then also having a sale here, much like what we're getting ready to talk about in just a little bit. But I also want to say this, Andy. I mean, I've been involved in several different associations and several different breeds. And I'm not saying I've ever had a bad experience necessarily, but I will say this. Everybody involved in this Indiana Angus Association, they always are trying to help each other succeed. Right. It's small breeders, maybe it's large breeders, but they do a great job of just trying to take care of each other.
Right.
just like that, from a meeting standpoint, from a nutrition standpoint, from a sales standpoint, man, they sure do have each other's back on a daily basis. And I think that's great in this business that we're in today.
Right. And they're always trying to grow this association and everybody putting forth all the effort that they can. And yeah, you talk about some of the speakers and got a list of a few of them here. Dr. Levi Holt, he came in and talked about embryo transfer. So, just trying to help the embryo programs. And again, you mentioned the bull studs, and that's something that every year happens, that they have the bull studs in. And man, we've had some of the presidents of, if you would call it bigwigs, of those bull studs come in and talk to that at that meeting because they just think it is that important, and there's that many people there at that one. And Chris Merkel came in. He talked about grazing systems. I hope I pronounced that right. And Buck Chastain in there about animal nutrition. He's kind of a local guy, but a guy that's really doing a lot of things in animal nutrition. And one of them that I was able to go to this time, I haven't been able to go to quite as many since we started the basketball thing, but I got to go listen to Jacob Tammy talk. And I don't know if you were an NFL fan or are an NFL fan, but Jacob Tammy, he was a tight end for the Colts and also a tight end out in Denver. And so he came in and talked. And, man, that was a great meeting just with him in there. And we didn't really get into a lot of things about cattle and about different ideas and things like that, but just a great way to tell stories of him through his NFL career. And then he did talk about some of the things that they are doing there at Tammy Valley Farms. And so it was just a neat breeder to breeders connection there with him to talk about those at those meetings. So just a great association that, as you mentioned, tries to do a lot of things for the breeders.
I'll just throw this out there. I mean, I get to drive over there it takes me a little while to get over there to go to those meetings, but just to socialize with breeders and just see what they've got going on a daily basis on their operation. I mean, I'll drive into town here, drink a cup of coffee in the morning as far as it goes, but I don't get to talk to somebody that's an Angus breeder or even a cattle breeder right here. Mm-hmm. But I can go over there on the second Thursday to Brownstown every week and talk to people that are doing the exact same things that I am. Maybe it's as simple as how to get a chain back on a manure spreader.
Right.
Or it's maybe how Julie saved a calf last night and it helps Mike and Lou Hooley fix one. I mean, it's cattle people talking on a monthly basis. It's a great time to spend socializing constantly. That's exactly right.
Right. Yeah, as you mentioned, in Brownstown, Pewter Hall. They've moved it around a few times, but it is in Brownstown, Pewter Hall, and on the second Thursday of the month. Those start I believe, in October, and they're going to end up here in April with the last one for this year, and then they take a little bit off. So they usually have a fall tour with COVID hitting and things like that. We've changed that up just a bit and haven't had one here for a year or two. So if you are a Southern Indiana Angus producer and you're listening and you do want to have the fall tour, why, they are open to suggestions with that, I'm sure. So officers this year, let's hit those up. The Southern Indiana officers, they are in the catalog, so you can see them there. But Ralph Meyer, he's the president and been president for a couple years here, and so Ralph does a very, very nice job. Mark Thompson, he's the vice president. Kathy Wilson, the secretary. And man, if you fall asleep in a meeting or you can't be there, you can know everything that's going on from what Kathy Wilson's secretary's report gives. She leaves nothing to the imagination on those and does a very, very nice job with that. And then Melanie Ritz, she's the treasurer for the association. So just a great group of people that do all they can to make this thing really run. And Mark Thompson, the vice president, his dad, Jim Thompson. You have those associations and you have those groups and things that yes, you run through some different officers and you run through some different leadership, but there's always those core people that are there. And Jim Thompson's one of those people that's always there.
Oh, absolutely, Jim. Well, the entire Thompson family, inside of that association, just focused on the sale here. You pick up the phone at any given time and to Jim or to Mark or to Troy, Corey, man, they are always there to help you all the time. That's a great family. And, man, can you remember? I cannot. How many years Royal Manor Angus Farm has actually been in business? It's got to be 105 plus now.
I was going to say they are. Yeah, I believe they are at least a century farm. But yeah, I don't remember exactly, but they have been in business a long, long time. Yeah.
I had a running count on that at one time, Andy. I knew exactly what it was because, every year Jim would tell me exactly how many years it was. And 20, we had to cancel the sale, obviously, and I think I lost my count. But I'm thinking 105, 106 is where they're at. So I've got to recognize that. That's something to be known for. That's a good cattle, too.
Right.
I mean, man, I've got an opportunity to look at a lot of those cows. And still good cattle, doing a great job.
Right.
Great folks to know. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you there. But
no, you're fine. And they do have cattle in the sale every year. So been supporting this sale and supporting the association and another good group of cattle that we'll get to here in just a minute. So.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Getting to this sale a little bit, we can talk about a few things, go through a few lots. Again, the sale is on Saturday, April the 2nd. It's at 1 o'clock p.m. there at Little York in Scottsburg, or close to Scottsburg, Indiana. And those cattle will be on display there Friday afternoon, correct?
Yeah, so they'll be in there pretty much ready for inspection by 2 o'clock. I would say, that's what we post in the catalog. They'll all be in there and pinned. And, of course, consignors coming from various places trying to find their feed as well to get their cattle displayed and cleaned up to see. But, you could see them as early as 2 o'clock there on Friday. Be scattered out through that barn just a little bit as far as that goes. But, the facility is a great place, and weather always treats us pretty well there. So, you can have an opportunity to kind of wander around there and take a look at them and visit with the consignors. They'll all still be around there, till about dark, I'd say at least, if nothing else. And then back again on Saturday morning. That's a great set of consignors that get out there pretty early and want to make sure that their consignments are viewed. So you'll have a great opportunity to take a look at them ahead of time. Right. That's right, Andy. Yeah.
Right. As you look through this catalog, you see a couple businesses that do support this sale and support the Southern Indiana Angus Association, and so we've got some guys that get a hold of them every year, and they're always, we want to be a part of it, and that group grows every year. So, Duane, if you would, why don't you tell us just a few of those, or tell us those that help support this sale?
Oh, sure, yeah. We get some folks that like to advertise in the catalog and showcase their businesses as well. Yeah, I'll list them down here. Let's Hardware is the first one here that I've come across. Standish Farm Supply is another one. Jacoby Sales, Longbottom and Hardshaw Incorporated. K&S Incorporated. Animal Nutrition, of course, is also a consignor there, or part of it, with Buck Chastain. Chin Equipment, Shelby Materials, another one of our consignors is involved with that. Jarrett Ross. Ools Feed and Small Engines, another one of those good advertisers. Tampico Grain. Calco, look there for your equipment needs, chutes and whatnot. And then Nick Hartman, Farm Bureau Insurance. That's the advertisers that put an advertisement in the catalog and want to be involved here with the association. I'd sure take a look at any of those if you're in that southeastern or southwestern Indiana, southern Indiana area. Of course, they range all across the state there. Take a look at those businesses. That's a great place to do some business, and some people that very supportive of the association as well.
Yeah, and had some of those that have been around for a long, long time, and so we appreciate all of those that do that, and it helps the consignors, helps everybody out as far as some of those expenses and things, and we hope that you'll support them, or at least if you see them out, and maybe they may not have a service that you need, but if you would just thank those people for what they do and supporting this. So. Duane, we've got a couple things in the back here, too. We've got a couple groups that support us. We've got the AI studs.
Oh, yeah. So every year, and I believe all three of these studs have been involved for as long as I've been involved in the association. So each year, these three individual places, they'll donate five units of semen here to be auctioned off, and we'll do that at the beginning of the sale. And they always bring to the table some pretty progressive bulls that you could get the opportunity to purchase 5 straws on. This year, ABS is the first one that comes to mind here. It's the first one that's listed in the catalog. You'll get the opportunity here to purchase the choice of Patriarch or Stellar semen, 5 units of those. And Gen X, listed directly below that in the catalog. You get the opportunity to purchase 5 units of either Wildcat or Iconic. And then Central Star here, too, you'll get the opportunity to purchase 5 units of Rainfall. And they donate that semen here as a part of the association as well. And yeah, they certainly need to be recognized. They've been involved with us for here, like I said, as long as I've been involved with the association in doing the same thing every year, offering 5 units of semen there that you can purchase and use in your own program. And I believe almost always all that semen's on hand. So if you're there at the sale and you buy your choice of those bulls or any of those, you can pick that semen up right there April 2nd and have it ready to start using in your program right away when you get home. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, bring your tank and we'll get you fixed up. Duane, as we look down through this sale, and if we go to sales past and sales past and sales past, this year we've got quite a few new consignors that have seen what this sale is doing and seen what this association does and all the support behind it. And so they decided they want to get in on this. And so we have, you have the number. How many new consignors do we have this year?
Well, I show 6 new that I know of, and out of those, I call 7 new, but one you're telling me is a consignor that I believe may be coming back from several years ago. So we'll call it 7 new, but good families that are coming in, trying to get involved inside of the association, trying to find a place to market, and bringing some good cattle to the table, in my opinion, as well. One of them here, and I'll list them off if you're fine with that, Andy. It's a KICC family farm. That's the Schroeder family out of Tell City. Then James Lucas, Lucas Farms, bringing a couple of really good bulls here, service age bulls, to the sale. Roder Angus Farm, Randy Roder family, and I believe they've been a consignor several years ago. But coming back here with a nice set of cattle there, a bull and a heifer to market with us. And then I'll put 2 together here just because they're related. Jim Shaw and Voyager Angus, or Roder and Jamie Gray, kind of coming together here. They're out of Kentucky with a great set of cattle. They're going to be new consignors for us. Then right there close to you, the Eastridge family, Marcus, that's a young man that's really, we've had an opportunity to visit with him at several shows. Man, a ton of focus in that young man.
Oh, my.
Bringing us a handful of lots there and trying to get involved with the association as well. And then Ryan Otis as well, brand new consignor here, bringing us a couple of lots. That's our new consignors. Like I said, just getting involved with us, but I tell you what, bringing a lot of great things to the table, in my opinion, there from that standpoint.
Right. Sale committee, we better hit all of those guys that help do this and kind of help guide the management, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so, man, I cannot rave enough about the sale committee I've had to work with, not just this year, but in the past. And it's changed a little bit. We had a guy step off of the sale committee last year. I got to take a second and recognize, Doug Sherman has been on that sale committee since I took over managing. And, of course, Doug, no stranger whatsoever to the Angus business, to the Angus to any program involved with it, and he stepped off the committee this year. I just want to take a second and thank him for, I got to be real honest there, for a couple of years. I'd spend hours on the phone with him just, man, I don't know what the hell to do. I just got to say it. And Doug was always great with it, but he wanted to get off the sale committee, and so that brought Trevor Craig on board this year. So a new one, and I tell you what, Trevor didn't disappoint at all, too. I mean, his input, his thoughts have been very welcomed. Lou Ruley's been on that committee, I believe, since I've taken over managing the sale, too. Lou's always been extremely, extremely beneficial to that sale committee. Probably the voice of reason.
Yes. Yes.
And is very good about telling you exactly what she thinks, and I really appreciate that. Lou's very good at that. Lauren Wilson, of course, Lauren's our resident National Angus Association member, or director member, involved inside of the sale committee too. And then Jarrett Ross, and also a consignor. Jarrett's his input's always very, very good. And then last but not least, on my sale committee is you, Andy Howell. And I can never go wrong when I call you when I need to know something. I always know you've got the answer for me, buddy.
I don't know.
Every time.
I don't know if that's a right answer, but I can come up with an answer. But we've spent quite a few hours on the phone talking about a few different things and trying to.
Hey, all jokes aside, I mean, I went through that list of members of that sale committee, but we've spent more time on the phone this year, trying to decide exactly what we are going to do, how we're going to go forward, how we're marketing these cattle, but what we're going to do for that list of 23 consignors, and how we can best represent them and how we can best represent that association. So all jokes aside, I had to joke with you just a little bit there, Andy, but it's a serious matter here. We're here to market cattle for these 23 people this year, and looking at 23 next year and 23 the year after that. I've been very appreciative of that sale committee that we've had. I tell you what, I couldn't do it without y'all. I really could not.
Right. And we enjoy it as well. So yeah, if you're not there at the sale, there's a couple people that you can get a hold of, or a couple things that you can do. And one of them, first and foremost, that you can do if you're not there, and you can catch this anywhere as long as you have some internet service, liveauctions.tv is going to be there with Brooklyn.
That's right. Yeah, you can log in there. I tell you too, if you've never been on webcast type of system like Live Auctions or any of their competitors, I would tell you to get on there a little bit earlier, register yourself an account. If you're having some trouble, give Brooklyn a call. Her phone number's right there in the catalog. She can talk you through it, get yourself involved in that. She can help you get going, and then, you can bid right there from your computer. You can bid right there from your phone with liveauctions.tv. And I tell you what, I'll just give another little plug for Brooklyn, too, because I just did it last Sunday. If you need somebody just to go out and analyze cattle and tell you about them on the phone, it's a young lady that can understand good quality cow. She can understand soundness. She can analyze them. And that's another one. I tell you what, I would trust her opinion. She will not lie to you when it comes to looking at them.
Right.
So,
got a couple ringmen that you could hit up as well.
That's right. Rob Nykirk, and both him and his son Alex, their phone numbers are in there. I actually just got to look real quick. I'm not too sure that Alex's phone number got put in.
Alex is not, but Rob can.
Yeah, that's you can find the sale manager over that one. But Rob's number's in there. Rob can take a look at him. He can talk you through some of those cattle as well. He can help you out. We have a new addition this year, kind of filling in for somebody that couldn't make it this year, and I'd say he'll probably be coming along with us. Matt Jackson out of Kentucky. There's another one that I would trust his opinion if you're analyzing these cattle, and he can help you there if you need some assistance bidding. And there again, Andy Howe back doing a little ring service for us as well too. So yeah, you can give him a call. And if you're looking to just for a couple of other phone numbers there, if you want to bid on the phone, there's a whole list of those numbers right in there. And I'll point out my wife, Julie, is in there. She'll be more than happy to handle that if you needed to bid on the phone. Of course, Doug Sherman, we just chatted about just a minute ago. I know he'll be there. If his rotary dial cell phone works, he'll chat with you. And but I tell you what, if you need to bid on the phone in an absentee, just give anybody a call there ahead of time. We have a lot of other people that we can kind of get you in touch with, and you can bid on the phone with as well. That's right.
Right. You can find all those numbers. If you're listening and you don't have all of that, you can find a sale catalog. If you're getting ready, we're getting ready to go through some of these cattle as well. If you want to go through us and you haven't done so, maybe hit pause, and you can look online at indianaangus.com. Also on the angus.org, if you go to the sale catalogs, the Southern Indiana Angus Association sale is listed down there as well. So you can get on there. We're probably, by the time this gets out, we're probably just really, really close to being able to get those catalogs sent out to you by mail. And so we would invite you to go look on indianaangus.com or angus.org and go find that catalog down there as well. Now, is the catalog on live auctions as well, Duane? I believe it is. Right?
The catalog is posted up on live auctions, and also coming along here on live auctions pretty quick. I didn't see them this morning, but videos and pictures of a lot of these lots, and even more pictures and videos of some of these lots that didn't, pictures that didn't make the catalog,
right.
and videos and additional videos are coming, and they'll be posted as well as we come along. And I'll also, while we're talking about that, I would tell you, if you get on that, catalog and you have any questions about any of these lots, right there on the third page is a full list of those consignors and those lot numbers. I would not hesitate to call a single one of those consignors and just point blank ask them exactly what they think of their consignments, exactly what they feel like, all their opinions and their questions, because all those cattle go back into their programs. They're there to represent those cattle, and they're going to do a good job of representing them too.
You're exactly right. Yeah, I'm looking down through that list, and there's nobody that I would be afraid to call at all and talk to and trust their opinion, and they're going to tell you about them. Well, Duane, you ready to go through a few of these lots? And we don't, of course, we don't have time to talk about every single lot, and so it's a little bit risky what we're kind of doing here to go through some of these. But there's some of these that maybe we do need to highlight just a bit and talk about just a bit, just to help highlight some of these different areas. Of course, we've got bulls, we've got open heifers, we've got cow-calf pairs, we've got fall cow-calf pairs, spring cow-calf pairs, all of those things to go along in this sale. So a little bit of something for everybody, bred females as well. So, Duane, let's start out. We got a flush opportunity, which sometimes they come in and out of this sale. Sometimes they are there, sometimes they're not. This year, we've got a flush out of Illinois, actually.
Yeah, so you pick on us right off the bat. I see how you are. So I really wasn't going to bring that one up. I was going to let that one slide.
Okay.
But,
well, check out the Lot 1 and Lot 1A.
That's fine. So I'll talk about them since you brought them up. The Lot 1 cow, will give you the opportunity to flush on a conventional flush on probably one of the most popular donors we have here, and that's saying a lot in my opinion. I mean, there's 3 breeds worth of cows here and 3 breeds worth of donors here. And that one gets a lot of attention, people coming through, taking a look. So we just decided we'd take the chance and offer for the right to flush that particular female, the 5224. That's a blue chip daughter that has done extremely well for us in a lot of different cases. But her Insight daughter, which is also pictured there, a small picture down in there, that's a female that's put a bunch of buckles in the house here for Eleni. She's been kind of a staple. We've had a handful of calves sold out of that one. We sold quite a few embryos out of that female. So we just decided we'd offer the opportunity to flush that particular cow in this sale. And I don't think anybody's really going to go wrong with that one. I mean, she's kind of a no-miss kind of a cow, in my opinion.
Right.
But if you really want to know the truth about it, I mean, I believe in her, but I tell you what, I'd invite you here to come take a look at her and
Mm-hmm.
look at her daughter. That's pretty good kind of a cow, and I think that's an opportunity that I would want to miss out on if
Right.
it was me. But you
Right.
bet.
Bull of the buyer's choice.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you can do it to a bull of your choice. I talked to a gentleman on the phone a couple of nights ago that was kind of interested in it. He said, "Man, I wouldn't know if I was the winner. I don't know exactly what I'd do."
Right.
And I said, "Man, let's just sit and talk about it a little bit. I'll tell you exactly what we've done with her. I'll tell you what I think works. So yeah, if that's something that interests you, I'd be more than happy to tell you what I believe. Or then I tell you what, come take a look at the donor, or I'll describe her to you. You can take a look at her picture. You can take a look at her video. You can make your own decision as far as that goes. But
Right.
yeah. So I mean, I think she's kind of a foolproof kind of a deal, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. So I think you could go a lot of different ways, and you can go a lot of different breeds on her. If you're sitting out there, not necessarily an Angus breeder, and you want to make some half blood semis, or if you want to make some F1 black Herefords, or whatever you wanted to do, I think that one's pretty diverse. You can
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of different things with that particular cow.
Mm-hmm.
So
Those are the ones that are
yeah.
fun.
She has been a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. She has been a lot of fun.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Right. Then we go into these bulls. Where do you want to start on these bulls?
I tell you what, we can. Well, I'll just pick one at random. Let's take a look at the Lot 4 bull. Here's one that's
Okay.
not pictured in the catalog, but he's got that little CAB symbol right there on his pedigree. Here's a bull that is in the Angus breed right now, or as of a day or two ago anyway, was in the top 1% of the breed for dollar F, top 3% of the breed for dollar B, and dollar C, top 2% of the breed for carcass weight.
Mm-hmm.
If you like him on paper and still a nice phenotype with him, there's a magnitude son. If you're breeding him that way on trait selection, I would pick that one every day of the week. It's pretty hard to find one like that, especially in southern Indiana, numbered up the way that one is and the way that one looks. So that'd be a good one to pick if you're picking at random. I'll let you pick one at random there, Andy Howe.
Holy cow. Let's see. Let's go down here, and Thompson's always brings some good cattle, and they've got a primo, which is a little bit different for the Thompson program. The Lot 7, we got a primo, son.
I was hoping you'd pick that one. I got the chance to see that bull last summer and got the chance to visit with Mark quite a bit. Oh, we were talking about he was a little hesitant to put that bull in the sale with
Mm-hmm.
being out of primo, and he wanted to know my opinion. I tell you what, that one's a powerhouse enough. I think he'd work in a lot of different programs. Of course, that basic cow family, coming from the family, just in
Mm-hmm.
general, from the Thompson family, that bull's going to be really, really good. I think he's going to be very functional. That bull's sound. That bull's powerful. He's got a ton of hip into him. He's going to be a pretty good bull. Mark asked me if I thought I wanted him in the sale, and I didn't even hesitate for a second.
Right.
Man, I'd love to have that bull in the sale, exactly. So I'm looking forward to seeing him sell come April 2nd.
Right. Right. Thompson's always right there at the top of that bull sale, and always bringing just good, big, powerful bulls. Another big, powerful bull and guy that brings powerful bulls, the Lot 10, the Rabers.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Jason Raber there from Washington, or Montgomery, I guess.
Montgomery, yep.
But, yeah, always brings good functional bulls and bulls that are ready to go to work, rugged, good quality bulls. I tell you what, I've been there. I've had the opportunity to be at that operation. Jason and family, that's a small operation, but they've got to work there.
Right.
And what they bring to the sale is never any disappointment from that standpoint. I mean, they're cattle that will go to work today, and I don't think there'll be any doubt on that one. Both his tour of duty son there. You get back on, just kind of rave on that one just a little bit. You get back on into some of his cows that he's got to sell a little bit later on. A lot of function, a lot of performance for those cows. Exactly.
Right. Right, got some open heifers in this deal, and always a highlight of the sale. And one of the new consignors here, we got the lot 12 from Oak Ridge Farms, and just a good female there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Tony Smith there and Brianna Stone. Brianna's Tony's daughter. Nice little operation right here, close to where we're at. See, I've known them all my life, basically. Tony and I are about the same age, and really focused on what they do in the cattle program. And that's going to be a female that'll be put together. She's going to have a ton of bone to her. She's going to have a ton of performance to her. She goes back there to a style son, bred out of York Farms. I guess you just did a podcast for Joel here a couple of days ago. You bet. So Tony's talked about that female to me on the phone. I don't know how many times. The amount of body that one's got, and goes back at it from the Betzel program on the cow side, and that's a hell of a cow program in my opinion too. Bruce and Austin Betzel over there in Tacoma said, man, I've never seen a bad one really from a cow standpoint that comes from that program. So I'd be looking for that one right there come April 2nd. And I tell you what, that one's going to show. That one's going to be competitive. That one's going to be a hell of a cow when it all comes down to it. That'd be a great one to look at.
Right.
In my opinion, you bet.
Right. We talk about cow families over here on the 14. We've got a Donna that comes to the sale.
Yeah, out of the Legends Donna 523 coming to us from Chastain's. So I have not seen that female yet, but I'm pretty excited to see that one. I mean, you look down on the bottom side of that one, that Coleman Donna 386 on the bottom side of that pedigree. I think that one will be pretty good, and I'll guarantee you Buck and Justin are going to have that one there. They're going to represent her very, very well. That'll be a damn good female to take a look at, in my opinion.
Right. And here's something a little different. Some of these guys, they're kind of like, I wish you would breed it to this one, or I think this heifer would really look good if you'd breed her to her. And we've got one operation. They're not going to leave any question to it. We're going to give you 2 straws to go along with this female here in the lot 16.
Yeah, you're talking about. Yeah, I knew where you're headed there. Yeah, yeah. We're just gonna make sure that you get the opportunity to use a $500,000 bill on our female. So never mind the fact that Turning Point daughter is probably going to be one of the best highlights of the open heifer deal there. I mean, that's going to be a really good female. Well, let's stop a second and rave about Mel and Joan Melsheimer. I mean, I know you've known them a long time. I've had the opportunity to know them a long time. I tell you what, they babysit those cows on a daily basis.
Oh my gosh.
And if they're not right, they're going to stand behind them 125%. Mm-hmm. And you're exactly right. Yeah, they're going to make sure that open heifer has the opportunity to get bred. They're just going to put 2 straws of semen right in your tank, right after you buy that female. Yeah, that's standing behind what you've got to offer, in my opinion. But that Turning Point daughter, I'll guarantee you, is going to be one to take a look at.
Right.
Absolutely,
yeah. Then we've got some Womack influence here, a program that's no stranger to the Angus business there with the Lannons, and they're going to bring some of those Womack bred females as well.
That's right. And so with Joe, I've had the opportunity to buy a lot of those cattle for them, for Joe and for his family. Just taking a look there, like at the lot 19, that top class 716 sire on that one. And then going back in here to his cow family, those cattle are always good. They're always extremely feminine. They're good kind of cattle. Well, even 19A on his trademark son, which goes back to that trademark 571, and then down on the bottom side of that one on World Class, which we've had a bunch of those World Class daughters here in our program as well. If you follow that one back, I mean, and you can read like on 19A, you can follow that one back to the 2004 Reserve Grand Champion female at the Junior Nationals in 27-13. I mean, there's a pedigree that reads on that one. Joe's going to have those heifers there. They're going to be competitive. They're going to look the part. They're going to be cattle that you're going to want to look up on April 2nd. That's exactly right.
Right. Going through there, we got the lot 20. We got a Cadillac Ranch out of the cow that we bought out of Werner's. that dispersal sale. So
Yeah, you need to talk that one.
Just wanted to take a look at. I mean, we bought those cows out of Werner's. We went out there. We bought 3 heifers, and we have been with the program there at Lazy JB and used a lot of those bulls. And we went and used Cadillac Ranch, and we got this one, and she's really nice. We kind of want to share the wealth on this deal, and she's nice. She's quiet. I guess I'll be real honest. That's one of the concerns with the ranches sometimes. This girl, I didn't even put a halter on her when I clipped her head in the chute the other day, and I haven't messed with her very, very much. She is tie broke, but that's about it. So ready to go there on that one. So
Good.
Then we get into these breads as well. Let's hit a few of these breads real quick. Again, we got the Doc Ryan bread deal in lot 21 there from Mirror Lake from the Melsheimers, so you can get another dose of that. The lot 22 here, the Insight that's bred to Turning Point as well, coming out of Glick.
Yep, that's a really nice female that Glick selected last year out of Quentin Smith's sale there from Voyager. That's a pretty nice female. That one's pretty powerful. The halter broke, easy going, pretty good and gentle. I bred her here myself, actually, and I know she's confirmed bred there to Turning Point. Gonna calve dead on. Was bred December 14th. That one's good to go, in my opinion. I think she's one that's probably going to be on the top end of that sale order of those bred heifers. I'll jump ahead of you here. I tell you what, return consignor for us here in lot 24 and lot 26.
Right.
Deanna the Hofing family. Man, I tell you what, now you just take a look at those pictures, take a look at those females, take a look at the pedigree on those females and how they're bred. Man, I don't think there's any way you're going to go wrong with those deep, soggy, really good, really maternal kind of females out of that consigner. I think, one here coming, lot 26 from the Hunter program, from Clinton, all them out there in Missouri, that wouldn't be one that I would miss. Take a peek over on lot 28. Here's one that's been examined safe with a heifer calf in her.
Right.
Now, she's going to calve a little later for us as far as that goes, but there's a primo out of granddaughter of the value $200,000, if you're paying attention to that, 6959 Champion Hill, Georgina. That's one I would pay close attention to.
Right.
Spent a lot of time on the phone here with Reuter probably the last month. Reuter and Jim Shaw both really wanting to make sure that what they bring to the sale is going to be the top end, and they're bringing some cattle, I believe, to the sale that are going to be what you want to add to your program.
Right.
So I'll let you keep picking some at random.
Well, and I was going to say on this lot 28, we shared that on Facebook a week or so ago. You put it up there or something, and I shared it, and John Davis was all over it. John Davis, of course, there managed Champion Hill for how many years, and John Davis says, man, that is absolutely one to look at. So don't just take our word for it. You go back to the guy that helped raise those right there and manage that program. Take a look at that one as well. So Roger Eckstein, he brings the lot 30. Roger, he's kind of sold and moving and doing some different things there. So check out that lot 30 from Roger Eckstein there in Pearlane, Angus, and support that program as well. So
Right. And Roger always been a great supporter of the association, always been a great supporter of the sale. And that female, no different than anything that's ever come from Pearlane right there in Seymour. Man, I tell you, I've had the opportunity to look there at those cows more than once. And you want to talk about a good uniform set of cows.
Right.
Good, stout kind of cows that you'd want to have in your program. Roger always does an exceptional job with those cattle.
Right. And let's not forget the Raising the Fourth program there with Natalie and those guys. That a great family to get into, and a family that really, really cares. They've got the lot 31, lot 32, 32A, and those cow-calf pairs. So another program to really look at.
Sure, and a couple of open heifers back there that we skipped over as well. But, yeah, they're going to be bringing some really good cattle to the sale. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
We got another good one there, the lot 33 from Todd and Trevor Craig. They're on the sale committee, and they've, when they come, they They don't consign every single year, but boy, when they do, they're right up there at the top as well.
Yeah, it always competitive cattle when they put leather holders on them, and and Trevor and I have talked about that female a couple of times, about the conversation female, the one that's super super complete. And then bred there to the Champion Hill classified bull. That's a bull that we got to choose out of the Champion Hill dispersal for them, for Trevor and all. And man, that'd be one that I think you could select and put into your program without any trouble whatsoever. And I trust what his opinion is. If you want to give him a call, have a visit with him about that female ahead of time. I don't believe he's going to steer you astray whatsoever.
Right. Got the Shaw family back there on the lot 35, Rampage. Going to be a high-quality female there. And so, yeah, you got a TC program there on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Where do we want to go next? Hit a couple more of these here as we roll down through here again. You got the Blue River Angus there at Shelbyville. Jarrett Ross always brings high-quality females, and he pays so much attention to what he's breeding to and what he's doing with those, and pays attention to those EPDs and wants quality cattle as well.
That's exactly right. Jarrett does a great job looking at those cows and always stands behind them. You can't really go wrong with that one.
Right.
He's got a good handful of these in here, bred females and cows. I sure wouldn't hesitate to give Jared a call. Right. He will describe those things from foot to nose,
right,
to you. And and I tell you what, if nothing else, it's good to visit with just in exactly what he thinks about his program or exactly about your program as far as it goes. Jared will do a good job of describing those to you.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Right. On the update sheet on the lot 40, she laid down and had a bloodline female. So take a look at that one as well. And, I've been thinking all day if I get the opportunity to talk about that. Those guys that are in your program, you have that cow that's probably not very good uddered. You've got that cow that could probably let go of. She's got enough age to her. Kind of that, one of those we really need to sell. You should do that and come look at this lot 40 female, because you want to talk about an udder on a female. Laid down, had that bloodline heifer calf, and don't miss her. Okay, I'll quit on that one.
No, that's great. That's great.
But take a look at that if you care about udder quality and things like that. So, Jarrett Ross, you skip over to lot 42, 43, Ross Spring, the Niagara. Niagara has passed on. And so we've got some of those genetics that might possibly be a little bit hard to come by.
Well, that's right. And I tell you what, if you're trying to keep the cow families right there in southern Indiana, I mean, that's the one you're looking for.
Right.
I mean, that's a Niagara Southern female. That's out of a Sherman cow. She's going to be the one you want to pick up. And I'll guarantee you, if that cow's not functional coming from Jared, there's probably not going to be one that will be out of this sale.
Right.
I'll guarantee you that's going to be a good one.
Right. No, yeah, the 44. You talk about functional families and bring those that bring the good ones. The 00 lot 44, going to be a good
exactly. There's another program I've gotten to go over and visit with Mike and Lou several times and look at their cows and ride around and look at them. And man, there's another guy that will not lie to you. That dude's going to look at the cow and tell you exactly what he thinks. And if they don't work, you don't get the chance to buy them. You just flat do not get the opportunity to buy them.
Right.
I tell you what, in my list of cowboys in Indiana, Mike Cooley would be the one, probably at the top of the list.
He's pretty
cool. It wouldn't be because of Mike, it'd be because of Lou. Just saying.
Right. Back in my management days, we'd go around and look at these when we could. And Mike says, man, I don't know if you're going to want her. I'm just not a big fan of her feet. And, man, I looked at her, and I'm like, I think I'm a pretty decent evaluator of that kind of thing. And I'm like, Mike, I don't know what problem you see here. And that's just how hard and how particular they are on those cattle that they're going to let out. And they're going to be right if they're going to let them go.
They are. They're going to reproduce. They're going to have beautiful udders. They're going to do for themselves. And if they don't work, and right outside of Bedford, Indiana. They won't work anywhere else. Mike is on top of it all the time.
Right.
And like I said, it's not Mike, it's Lou. I'm pretty sure it's Lou.
Right. Yeah, back here in the back, let's hit a couple more of these again. A new consignor. They just keep bringing some really, really good ones here with the Voyagers and the 48 and the 49.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Those are going to be cows that you're going to want to take a look at. I'll guarantee you they're not going to bring them to town. Jim, Shaw, Rooter Gray, Jamie, they're not going to bring those cows to town for you to take a look at. If they're not going to work and form and function in your program, I'll guarantee you as a new consignor, they're going to be an asset to the sale, and their cows are not going to be any disappointment whatsoever. Right. Absolutely.
Right. And again, you want to talk cow families, the lot 50. We got another Donna from the Chastains.
That's right. Out of a 10X, that one's going to be one you're going to want to look up on sale day. Absolutely.
Duane, man, I appreciate all your work on this sale. I appreciate what you do for these consignors here in Southern Indiana and what you do for this sale. And anything else we need to talk about here before we wrap this thing up?
I just got a couple of things I want to throw out there, and this is just a couple of thank yous just basically for this sale. I mean, we talked about them real quick. The sale committee has been extremely good to work with over the last several years, all the years that I've been managing as far as that goes, but particularly this year. Man, we've had to spitball a lot of things, and so I want to just take a second and say that. I never get to thank him. I don't even get to thank him from the block. I always forget it, but I want to throw this one out there. Michael Isaacs and Ralph Meyer always handling the back of that sale, handling the pinning, staying on top of it, handling the loadout. Man, if it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would do. They do an incredible job with that. And we'll throw a couple new guys into that deal this year. I'll recognize them next year. How about that? Okay. After they put a little time into it. But
that loadout crew, there is more compliments on that loadout crew than there is almost anything else that go on at that sale.
Those guys are on it all the time. And then the last one I really got to think on this. She probably never thinks that I really ever think about it, but Kathy Wilson, Lauren's wife.
Oh, wow.
Kathy proofreads this thing. She proofreads the ads. I never even ask her to. I just email them to her, and she's on top of it. And I tell you what, you never miss a comma. You miss nothing with Kathy. She is on top of it all the time. So she does an incredible job of proofreading the catalog. She is on it nonstop, and I really, really appreciate that. I always want to thank her. I never get the opportunity to actually thank her anywhere else, so I think I'd do it on your podcast.
Right. We better put that in the notes here from the block this time.
There you go.
Put that in your notes.
Well, I've had a bunch of fun, Andy Howe.
Man, I have too. I appreciate it. Always good to talk to you. We talk a lot of hours on the phone, but some of them may be recordable. Some of them may not be, but this
most of them probably should not be recorded, as a matter of fact.
This one was, and man, I appreciate it. Appreciate you getting this thing set up and getting this thing going, and just appreciate all the work you do, man. Great to work with you.
That's all part of it. I really do. I enjoy it. I enjoy it, or I wouldn't be doing it.
Right. Right. So, well,
we look forward to seeing you April 2nd.
Yes, we do. I will see you on the 1st, but we look forward to seeing everybody else here on April 2nd. Again, the United Producers Sale Facility at Little York, Indiana. You can punch it right into your GPS, and it will get you there. It's a little bit off the beaten path, but not too bad. So, again, we want to see you there April 2nd. Come hungry for the meal there provided by the Cattlemen's Association there, and so we'll have the sale starting at 1 o'clock with the semen. Then we'll roll right into the lots. Duane, appreciate it, man. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we want to thank you for listening to another edition of Before the Bid podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Before the Bid. For more information and to learn more about upcoming podcasts and sales, visit us at beforethebid.podbean.com or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. For information on being a guest on Before the Bid, please email us at beforethebid@gmail.com or one of our social media pages. Remember, that's beforethebid@gmail.com. Happy sales to you, and we will talk to you next time on Before the Bid.